because then I'd have to deinstall or uninstall the data jack. But if you didn't clue in, that's why we have data jacks for other parts too, like the arm and stuff, just because then it frees up your head slots and stuff. He definitely has more than what he had before. I got the Vision Magnification Eye Basic. There's this one here, the Alpha one. Adds 6% to hit. There's also Laser Designator. Let's go for that one though. I think I'm gonna leave the head data jack probably. I don't know, what other options do I have here? Well, the intelligence boost might be nice. Because I could always take one of the sides for the induction data jack. But I'm already spending 1,000. So I would need 1,000 more for Nyan in order to do this. But I could do the induction data jack. And then I could do Enchefalon here. I kind of want that Bioware. Anything that like boosts raw stats are really powerful. If you hadn't noticed. As much as I want the body and strength, I feel like charisma might be better. It's hard to say. So that's only 0.5. That's 1. That's 0.3. Let's go ahead and get that for now. Yes, I know how cyberware works. Right, now let's go back to the safe house. Jump in. So we just have to notify Lucadura that his task is complete. Do I have any pay data? I think I do. No, I don't. Let's head over. Oh my god. What a time for me to have to sneeze too. We got 4 unread messages. Let's check our inbox for new messages. Still alive. It's Jaina. I guess that I should thank you. You got me out of that horrible job alive. I don't think I could have made it on my own. What happened on that run took everything else away from me, but at least I'm still breathing. The lodge turned me into a killer, Cyber Ninja. That gnaws at my guts every minute of every day, and I still can't sleep at night. Innocent people, normal people, died because of what I did. And you know what they made me do it? And you know why they made me do it? Because they could. I don't know. Maybe this doesn't bother you. You're a Shadowrunner after all. You kill people all the time. Just another day at the office, huh? Well, I'm not like you. I can't just kill people on the job and forget about it the next day. This is going to haunt me for the rest of my life. I don't know how to live like this, but it's still better than not living at all. That's what I keep telling myself, and so I figured that I might as well tell it to you. Alexander. Hey, Cyber Ninja. Uncle Dietrich told me that I could message you here, so I figured that I should. He probably told me that he probably told you that I'm living at Samuel's, huh? Well, that's where I am. It's different. I'll give it to that much. I like that I don't get pressured or hurt people here, so that's good, and nobody smacks me around, even though I can tell that a lot of the orcs and trolls want to. I do get yelled at a lot and called a lot of names, but I guess that makes that making me feel bad about the kind of thing is all part of the plan. Life kind of sucks right now, but at least nobody is going to make me kill anyone. Uncle D says that it's going to get better, and maybe it will. I don't know. Anyway, what I mostly wanted to say was thanks for not killing me back at the Humanist compound. I had a gun on you, so you totally could have, but you didn't, and I'm really glad about that. Thanks, Alexander. Alright. Allergies. The screen flickers the life and Maxim's face appears. He's wearing a broad grin, and you can hear the sound of celebration in the background. Hey there, Muscle. Not sure if Tuck gave me the rat address, but I figured it was worth a shot. I don't know if you heard, but our favorite Poly Club got hit from all sides by the F-State today. It was glorious. Anyway, just thought you'd want to share in the good news, and thanks for your help back there. I don't think we'd made it out there without you. He raises a hand in salute. Take care, Cyber Ninja. The message ends and the image fades. You find yourself back at your inbox. The screen flickers to life and Malice's face appears from the shifting background and ambient noise. It's clear the message was recorded on a portable device. Hoi, Cyber Ninja. Just wanted to tell you that I've met with limited success in working on that stack of DVDs. It's a thorny problem, but at least I'm making some headway. If you look on the table beside your DVD player, you will find another recovered disc. I wasn't able to salvage all of the files on it, but I think that you might find what I did recover to be of interest. For my part, I'm going to continue working on the other DVDs. To tell you the truth, I wouldn't hold out much hope though. They're all badly damaged and suffering from disc rot besides. I'll be in touch. My best to you and your team. The message ends and the image fades. You find yourself back at your inbox. Claim payment for the Mark 6 prototype extraction. You submit the job is finished and await your client's response. A few minutes later, a message pops on the screen. We get 3,750 Neuron. Her Schmidt to Cyber Ninja. Here's your money. Don't ever contact us again. Schmidt. P.S. When your new friends turn on you, I'm going to split on your grave. A moment later, a second message pops in your inbox. Your payment details. Yeah, there's 2,200. 1,100 went to the funds. That's good for enough. Yeah, I still have that pharma cleanup job, huh? Where are we at with the Alice fund? 32 grand of 50. It's not bad. Don't have any paid out of. Let's head back to the cyber enhancement place. I'll have enough money to do what I want to do now. That's where I'm going. Move my data jack and then give me that good intelligence boost. Alright, so how much essence do I have current right now? 4. Let's move it to the left arm. Alright, 1 second, guys. I gotta close my window. Alright, sorry about that. Yeah, I could start hearing like a buzzing, and I'm like, what the fuck is that? My bedroom window's open in the next room. It's people cutting their lawns and stuff. Alright, so current essence is 3. Just trying to plan out what I could do. I can get an arm and maybe a leg piece. I could probably get the Cyberarm here, the 1 strength and 5 HP. That's 1. And then maybe the Omnitech Cyberleg. 8 HP, 1 quickness, and 1 dodge. So I'm looking at what, 5,500? Yeah. It'll be worth it. But now, if I look at my character, Charisma's 5, Intelligence is 7, Armor is 2, Decking 6. Like, goddamn. You gotta love it. My Intelligence is only technically 5. Technically. Alright, so let's head back to the safe house. Considering I've spent all my money. Oh yeah, there's the DVDs too. I guess we'll check out the DVDs, see how long that takes, and see if I have time to still talk to Amsel. I probably will, but... Load the 3rd DVD. A soft whirring sound fills the air as the ancient DVD player spins the disc up to speed. The scratched LCD display comes to life and a menu fills the screen. The display goes blank for a moment, then the face of Green Winters winks onto the screen. The timestamp of the video reads 2042-0805. As I prepare to read a novel here. I was thinking about Adrian today. Not as he was when he disappeared. Not as the fabled Dragon Slayer, or the big-time CEO of Dial Defense. I was thinking about when we were kids. Well, I was always more of a kid than he was, of course. He's 15 years older than me. In a way, he was more like a parent than a brother. Winters paused. His gaze drops to an invisible point on the table in front of him. So I was thinking about this time when we were on holiday. Our parents took us out of the island, took us out the island of Pole to enjoy the beach. I must have been about 5 years old. Adrian was 20. It'd be his last family vacation with us. A year later, he'd begin his metric rise to fame and fortune. But on this trip, he was my brother. And when I fell out of the little paddle boat that our parents rented and started sinking fast into the Baltic, he was the one who dove in to rescue me. You saved my life that day, Adrian. I'll love you forever for that. And I will find you. I owe you that much. Found... 1 second. Fuck, man. Found an old news article that mentions Adrian from way back in 2036. It was printed in a financial magazine called Das Finanzwesen, one of those chick print-based mags that they produce for the retro crowd. There aren't any clues in here, but it's good to see someone else acknowledge his existence. He clicks an off-screen button and the image of Winters disappears. It is replaced by a digital scan of a magazine page. SK stock suffers in post buyout brain drain November 12, 2039. In the aftermath of the Dragon Lawfreed's hostile takeover of Cider, Krupp, oh my god, SKI, a continuing brain drain of high-level executives is causing ongoing worry among company shareholders. The company's stock took a major hit when Lawfried disposed former CEO Willenheim Graf Bonnet last August. 3 months later, long-held power positions within the SKI empire continued to empty as the Dragon consolidates its power base. The most recent casualty of Lawfried's takeover include Alexander Kabashi, former COO of Sader Munitions, Mathis Donor, former treasurer of Ruhr Datafax, and Werner Harden, former CEO of Dial Defense. Harden stepped into the role to replace Dr. Adrian Vlucher, who disappeared under mysterious circumstances 2 years ago. Winter's face winks back onto the screen. So there you have it. That's what they had to say about Adrian a mere 2 years after his disappearance. My brother, the footnote. While this track does load, it's clearly corrupted. The screen fills with a meaningless stream of text. Same thing with track number 4. A rattling sound fills the air as the disc grounds in its tray. A few seconds later, the screen fills with text. Dr. Vlucher, 2034-09-10. It is my sad duty to inform you that by unanimous vote of the Aufsichtsrats, your position as CEO of Dial Defense will be terminated at the end of this calendar month. Your continued mislocation of company funds to pursue personal agendas cannot and will not be tolerated any longer. The supervisory board is not unsympathetic to your mental state. The trauma that you endured during your pursuit of the dragon Fierce Wind must have been enormous, but your continued obsession with the dragon, the dead dragon I might add, has proven a negative influence on the company and is an unjustified drain on company resources. The board wishes you all the best in your future endeavors. We've prepared a generous severance package to assist you in the time of transition. If there's anything more that we can do to help, please don't hesitate to ask. Warner Hurden. The disc spins down and you find yourself sitting at the main menu. Not too bad. Amsel calls over his shoulder at the sound of your approach. His eyes are glued to his computer's display. Cyber Ninja. Fru Muller should be on her way, but before you go to the meeting site, I have news. He glances at you and his words trail off. Upon seeing the expression on your face, Amsel's voice becomes grave. It can wait. Tell me what has happened. I had some trouble on the U-band. Somebody set up an ambush. Amsel pauses, then gives a curt nod. Truth be told, I've been expecting that something like that might happen. I'm just glad that you made it out alive. One of the attackers dropped this. Amsel takes the PDF from you and examines it. Yes, I should be able to extract some information from this. Give me a moment. He plugs the PD into his computer and goes to work. A few moments later, he lets out a grunt of dismay. Well, Cyber Ninja, I was able to recover file, but unfortunately, that's all that I'll ever be able to pull off this thing. All that anyone will, truth be told. It must have been running some kind of counter-intrusion software. The instant that I gained access, it bricked itself. Amsel disconnects the useless PD and drops it to the ground. It clatters to a rest on the metal floor. What did you manage to pull off of it? A comm file. The audio is all here, but it looks like we've only gotten video from one side of the conversation. Let's see what we have. He opens the file and a nightmarishly familiar face appears on the screen. Bashmeyer. The voice bleats out from Amsel's speakers filling the room. Adrun here. What's your status? Bashmeyer's image is garbled, but his voice sounds young and eager. Target acquired, sir. You were right. We spotted him on the U-Bahn, just like you said, probably on his way to a job. As per your instructions, we're going to try to take him out on his way back. He'll be more vulnerable that way. Hopefully injured and low on ammo too, but only time will tell. Good man. Proceed as instructed. Will do. Sorry about that. Will do, Costman. Will do. Costman is rigging up an ambush spot now. We'll try to make it quick. York with the nightmare face nods. Send me a comm when the job is done. Adrun out. The image on the computer screen dies. Amsel turns to face you. Well, our scarred friend makes an appearance. Cyber Ninja, I suspect that Green Winter's predictions are coming true. I believe that Fierce Winter is behind this. Under Amsel's patient exterior, you can feel the worry that's eating at him. Be on your guard, you and the rest of your team. You made it through that attack relatively unscathed, but next time you won't be so lucky. You might not be so lucky. Don't worry, Paul. I will. He nods. Good. I expected nothing less. Amsel adjusts his glasses, straightens his posture. Now, Cyber Ninja, on the other, albeit connected, matters. As I was saying when you first approached, I was able to uncover some new evidence in your absence, and coincidentally enough, the evidence pertains to our scarred friend. You might recall that I said I'd dig into Arjun's skin grafts. Well, I did, and that search has finally borne fruit. One of my contacts outside of Berlin handles the paperwork for private hospitals all across Germany. It's a dull, boring job, but it does have its perks. Amsel pulls open a file on his computer. A medical chart opens up on the screen. As it turns out, our scarred friend's skin grafts were performed at a legitimate hospital after all. Of course, I don't have Biotech 4, which I'm not going to go on my way to get. So good news for once. What do they say? Well, they're rather light on identifying information. Our friend's name is listed as Max Mustermann, the local equivalent of John Doe, but they do cover his injuries in great detail. Adrin's injuries were extensive. He had 2 broken ribs and a shattered pelvis, and he had sustained third-degree burns over 60% of his body. Most damningly of all, he was suffering from acute radiation poisoning. His body had absorbed over 5,000 millisieverts of ionizing radiation, a lethal dose without treatment. The information dries up at this point. We know that he was treated and discharged, but what happened afterward remains a mystery. He pauses for a moment, studying your action. Your thoughts. Hold nothing back. I'd like to hear everything that comes to mind. Audrey might have spent some time in the socks. That radiation poisoning didn't happen on its own. Agreed. 5,000 millisieverts is a lot of exposure. Short of basking in the glow of an unshielded reactor, I don't know how he'd have absorbed that much ionization without radiation without spending time in the socks. Alright, so Adrian was heavily radiated, most likely from time spent in the socks. What else did this tell you? Well, those burns sound like Dragonfire, but if the fire wing burned Audrin, why would he be working for her now? I don't think that Audrin was working for the fire wing. I believe that he is serving her. On Green Winter's second DVD, he mentions that there is a cult within the socks that worships the fire wing, the disciple of the cleaning fire. I believe that Audrin belongs to this cult. What difference would that make? In my experience, a zealot is unlikely to shed his allegiance to its goddess, even if the loyalty comes at great personal cost. This is true. So it is possible that Audrin is a dragon cultist. This seems to fit with much of the other information that we've uncovered. Did any other red flags jump out at you? Well, the hospital couldn't ID Audrin. Either somebody covered his tracks for him, or he was living completely off the grid. Indeed, if Audrin were a denizen of the socks, a glowpunk, his lack of identifying information would make sense. Amsel adjusts his glasses. It's a working theory at any rate. So to sum up, Audrin has probably spent time in the socks. It's possible he even lived there as a member of Fiercewind's dragon cult, and he is after you. Amsel pauses for a moment before continuing. In my mind, all of this reinforces, oh my god, one fact. We need to find Vluclair and need to do it fast. Agreed. Good. And that's all the more reason to gather Alice's fee as quickly as possible. There's a buzzing sound from Paul's wrist. He lifts his hand to look at the PDA, and as luck would have it, Fru Muller has arrived. Best of luck at the meeting, 7 Ninja. Remember, this is urgent. We need that money. I'm on it. What about this other job, though? And apparently I haven't notified Lucador that his task is complete. But it is pointing me over here, so... I don't think I've read this. Amsel's face winks onto the screen. Here you'll find the complete transcript of your conversation with Her Futures, a potential client. The job seems to be relatively straightforward and the payout is reasonable. One word of caution before you proceed. There are aspects of this run that you might find morally troubling. Be sure to read and understand the specifics of the job before accepting. If you do accept, you'll be expected to carry out the requirements of the job in full. After reading the transcript, you may choose whether or not to accept the job. If you respond in the affirmative, our client will be notified and will make all necessary preparations for the run. Her Amsel? Yes, I am here. To whom am I speaking? You may call me Her Fuchs. Very well. Please describe the work that you would like to have done. Straight to the point. I like that. Very well. I would like to retain your team's services to clean up a mess. Go on. My employees dispatched a team of operatives to conduct a quiet operation at a local Schering Pharma AG lab. Unfortunately, they botched the job. The team was eliminated, but we have reliable information that one of the operatives have been taken captive. If this rogue agent were to spill information leading back to my employers, it would lead to a corporate war. A great many lives could be lost. My employers would like nothing more to prevent such a tragic turn of events. Ah, I see. And you wish to retain my team's services to tie up loose ends. Exactly. The captive operator is a rigger by the name of Thurvold Enstand. We need him neutralized before he can inform on us to his captors. As Enstead and his team have already put the facility on high alert, stealth will not be an option. Your team will need to shoot its way in, eliminate Enstead, and exit the facility. Straightforward enough task, and well within my team's capabilities. What are you offering in terms of pay? 1,500 Niren. This offer is non-negotiable. Very well. I'll pass the offer on to my team. Very good. Good day, Her Amsel. The text field disappears. A single line of text pops on the screen. We'll accept it. Back to the route. I don't know how to talk to this guy. Aja turns to face you. There's a pained look on her face. Look, I owe you an apology. Oh, is that so? Yeah, it is. When Monica died, I was pissed. That probably doesn't come to a huge surprise, but I took that anger out on you, and I shouldn't have. Seeing Winter's body like that was enough to convince me. You couldn't have done anything to help Monica, and I couldn't have either. We're dealing with something new. Monica was a good friend of mine. Her death hurt. I got carried away, and I said some things I shouldn't have. I want to apologize for that. Her body relaxes. She begins to turn away. Anyway, that's all I wanted to say. There's a few things I wanted to say. She stops and then turns back to face you. You can see the weariness behind her eyes. Go ahead. Nobody's stopping you. You're a valued member of this team, Idra. We need you more than ever. I'm glad that you're on my side. She raises a hand to stop you. The expression on her face has gone from cautious to annoyed. Cut the bullshit, fearless leader. I don't respond well to flattery. I knew that was a bad idea, but the other choices weren't any better, so. What if Luca Dwyer is, maybe he's at the cafe. You really came through for me, boss. You ever need anything from me, anything at all, then you can call on me. I'll call him Ryan. Don't worry about it, Dietrich. I'm just glad everything worked out okay. He nods. It did, but it wouldn't have without your help. Alexander's had a rough go of things so far in life. Thanks to you, you'll be able to give him a second chance. He's a good kid, that nephew of mine. Give him some time, and he'll shake Stahl's programming. It might take a while, but he'll adjust to the life here in Cruz Bazaar. In the meantime, I found a good home for him. Samuel's agreed to take him in. Is that why? Samuel's employees have no love for humanists. Most of them don't even like humans. Best thing for the kid will be to learn through immersion. If he stays with Samuel's group, he'll have no choice but to interact with metahumans. Soon enough, he'll learn that they're no different than anyone else. First few days will be rough, no question, but he'll make it through and come out the other side a better man for it. He seems like a tough kid, but I don't doubt that you're right. Dachu claps on your shoulder. You're a good man, boss. On to other things. Remember what I was telling you back before we climbed into the van? Yeah, you were saying that the Dragon Slayer was happy and that you'd be given a reward. That's right. Thanks to our, let's not mince words, heroic actions back in the swine pit, the Dragon Slayer has seen fit to grant me his favor. His grin widens, and now I know what that means and what I can do with it. I'm listening. Well, he has seen fit to grant me a new ability. He gestures at the ground near his feet, namely this. As you watch, the spot that Dietrich is pointing at begins to glow. Lines of force spread out in a chenalling web, and a feeling of raw power courses through his body. I've just torn open a channel between myself and the Dragon Slayer. The power that you feel is his power pouring through the aether and into this spot. If you're familiar with ley lines, it's the same basic concept. I concentrate a patch of ground, and as long as I stand in this spot, all my magic gets stronger. He crosses his arms over his chest. Not bad, huh? No, Dietrich, not bad at all. Pretty good, ain't it? Never heard of another shaman who could do something like this. We must have really made an impression. Anyways, boss, I want to keep filling with this, learning to properly control it, and I'm sure that you've got things to do as well. You take care of whatever else that needs doing, and by our next run, I'll be ready to use this. Sound good? Take care, Dietrich. You too, boss. Even though he can already use that. I'm pretty much up for time, so I'm going to end the video here. When we come back, we'll talk to Blitz real quick. I'll head to the cafe to see if I can find Luca Dwyer, because I don't know how I'm supposed to notify him otherwise, and then we'll continue from there. I'm supposed to be meeting with Fra Mahler, but I might put that on the back burner because I feel like that's like a main mission and this is like an optional mission. So anyways, I hope you guys enjoyed. If you did, leave a like and say comment down below, subscribe, shares, it all helps me out. Thank you guys for watching. I'll see you later. Bye.